Grizzlies and Clippers. This was a good one here as the Clippers are holding on to the 7th spot. Grizzlies at the 5 spot in the Western Conference. This was the first quarter.
Man.
They do look scary. That was James Harden. And here's Kawhi Leonard, who looks healthy there. Really good one. Grizzlies was up 66-60 at the half, but the Clippers are going to outscore Memphis 68-42 in the second half and blow away the Grizzlies there. You see the defense right there. Wow, none is a really good defender.
Who? By James Harden?
James Harden as well.
Jeff Van Gundy got James Harden playing defense.
No doubt about that.
You heard me right.
And look at that. Kawhi Leonard is doing this thing. Luke, you got no shot here. Luke Kennard.
They look great. They also look like the Buffalo Braves uniforms.
They do.
Bob
McAdoo days as we check out the wild Western Conference standings. And this is a monster game for the Warriors in Atlanta. A monster game here because if they lose, they'll be tied with the Clippers in that loss column. The T-Wolves right there at 41-31. But you want to look ahead. If the Warriors win, they'll be a game behind the Memphis Grizzlies for the 5th spot in the Western Conference.
And you also want to keep an eye on that loss column, Mr. Bonte Hill.
Absolutely. You see that. The Grizzlies at 28 losses, the Warriors at 29, the Clippers with 30. So things are tightening up even more with 12 to go for the Dubs.
No question. All those teams, you got to focus on each game one at a time. Not who you're playing, but how you're playing. Now, tonight's game is going to be tough without Steph. But they've managed to have different ways of winning these games. That's been really impressive, which is going to be the case in the playoffs. Each and every game is its own entity, its own separate task at hand. So Warriors on a good roll, maintain that level of consistency. I think recently we've been talking that the turnovers have creeped a little bit into the Warriors, so you got to take care of that definitely on the road, continue to get to the free throw line, and then defensively. You know, I thought Draymond had that great individual defense against Giannis. I thought GP2 and Moses Moody handled Damian Lillard. But last game, Toronto shot 56% from the field, 42 from three. I have to get those efficiency numbers down a little bit.
Points in the paint, too, Fezzi Feld. The Raptors dominated.
You talk about the Wild Wild West, right? Like, if you look, it's really amazing how health has played a factor in these playoffs, especially in this run towards the end. Think about it. Right above the Warriors are the Memphis Grizzlies. They're playing without Ja Morant. They're trying to keep the ship afloat until he gets back into the fold. It's really hard to play without your lead point guard, the guy who makes everything go. He blows by people, gets guys open. Below the Warriors, the Clippers are just now getting healthy. Kawhi Leonard has been the biggest X factor for that team. How do they look without him? Well, all year long, they just stayed afloat. Matter of fact, they were number 4th seed for a lot of the season without Kawhi. Now integrating him back in, it's actually been really impressive to see Kawhi play and just come back into the fold and keep dominating offensively, defensively. They look so locked in. The Warriors right now are trying to play without Steph. They got to be able to win games with their defense because without Steph, your offense is not going to be as potent. But at the same time, also playing off of Jimmy Butler is going to be important. Draymond Green hitting those threes like we talked about, that's going to be important. But the bench. Tonight, you're going to have 2 really, really tough benches. The Atlanta Hawks are the number 4 bench. The Golden State Warriors are the number 2 bench in the league. They got to be able to win that matchup tonight as well.
And we'll see who Steve Kerr decides to start. But this is also a really good time for Jonathan Kuminga with some minutes and some shots available to reestablish himself in this lineup.
Has had an up and down return for the Golden State Warriors. No doubt the spotlight will be bright on J.K. Of course, on this road trip, Kawhi Leonard last night, 23-10, Zubac, 17-10. Clippers are rolling here, and you have to take care of the basketball. Dyson Daniels is on the other side. We'll break him down in a little bit here, but the Warriors, 5th in the league with nearly 16 turnovers per game in their last 10. They have to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Here's what the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, had to say about their recent turnover issues.
Mostly unforced, I would say. I think it's been decision-making has been poor. We're just being reckless. And with that said, I mean, teams are, playing aggressively, and, Toronto really got into us. Atlanta will get into us tonight. Daniels is a one-man wrecking crew. So, we got to be ready. We can't afford to turn it over against these guys.
No, you cannot, as the Warriors have lost 5 consecutive games down in Atlanta, and Trae Young has had his fingerprints over each and every one of those games, averaging 26-8, shooting 44% from the three-point line, 88% from the free throw line, and another 50 from the floor. And he does it with a variety of pick and rolls, and he's one of the best pick and roll point guards in this league.
Big-time playmaker, Bonte and Fest. He's going to get in the high pick and rolls. He's going to get in the paint. He finds lob for his big men. But you got to pick him up at half court because he's got Steph Curry type range. Once he comes off these pick and rolls, he's going to seek out the matchup he wants. He's got great vision. because he's a threat to shoot this deep three, you got to get up on him. He really gets a nice tempo, nice pace. You're not going to speed him up, and he sees all the different passes. He's got nice three-point shooters out on the line there. This is more of a high-volume offensive team, not a big-time efficient team, but they're going to get shots up. They're going to score 117. They give up 119 on a defensive end.
Clint Capella is still jumping like that? Well, he's injured. He's out tonight. But you're going to have Kongu and the pick and roll with Trae Young. And in these pick and rolls, you got to be up at the point of the screen. But the trick is you got to be able to contain Trae Young and also get back to the guy who's rolling. That's going to be the trick for the game tonight, because if they continue to give it to the reliever like they did last game against the Toronto Raptors, the success they had in the Warriors defense was they kept throwing the ball to Jakob Poeltl, and he would damage the Warriors on the inside. So for the Warriors tonight, you got to make sure you get back to that big and you contain them so they don't get out to the shooter.
What's the key for Quintin Post? Because he may be the guy they hunt on the defensive end. We've seen Denver do that to Quintin Post, Toronto at times, as well as Milwaukee. What's the key for the big fella who's in his rookie season to defend that pick and roll?
You got to get up here. This is the half court line. You got to be up there to guard Trae Young. And as soon as he tries to pass the ball, you have to sprint all the way back to get in front of the other big man. Those are the things that you got to watch out for with Quintin Post. But I see him getting better every game. And tonight, this is going to be a great test for him on his defensive skills.
Yeah, for me, Bonsan Festus, more than ever in the NBA, that's about the five guys being on a string. Because if you're going to double it, if you're going to go on, whatever you're going to do with Trae Young, it's the guys behind you. When you do turn to sprint back to the paint, they're pointing you where to go. That's Draymond. That's Loon. So it's really the five guys have to be on a string when you play a guy like Trae Young. Much like, it's easier said than done. People come in to guard Steph Curry. They go take away his open threes, keep him off the free throw line. It's a lot easier said than done because these guys are so dynamic with their ball handling. Trae Young, like as Festus pointed, you got to pick him up at half court. He's such a dynamic ball. He's going to get you on his hip. He's going to draw some fouls. He's going to find lobs. And once he gets that going, if he gets to the free throw line, all of a sudden you're looking at a 30-15 type game, and the home crowd is into the game, and you got a tough game on your hands.
Trae Young averages 7.5 free throw attempts per game, and he's deadly from there, shooting nearly 90% from the free throw line. But Quintin Post, he's also a rookie, and he hasn't been to these premier NBA cities during his NBA season. Miami, Atlanta, New Orleans. Heck, they end the road trip in L.A. So we have some rookie do's and don'ts starting in Atlanta. And some of the do's is you have to check out the lemon pepper Lou's from Magic City. Now, it's okay. You DoorDash it like our great friends at DoorDash. You could DoorDash it to the hotel room because what you don't want to do is dine in, Mully and Fezzi.
Takeout only?
Takeout only.
Okay, I'm going to add like a little asterisk to this. I'm not going to say just the rookies. I'm going to say the entire roster follow this plan right here.
Coaching staff, too?
This is all-inclusive.
I don't know,
1
man.
through 15.
I feel like some people play better when they have the lemon pepper Lou's at the location where it's made. I'm just saying. Listen, I have no more comments other than that, Bonte.
Well, let's check out Miami here.
Sometimes,
Some of the do's and don'ts in Miami. Sure, you can go visit the beach, right? Visit South Beach, get a nice little tan, Mully, play in the sand, maybe make a sand castle. But what you don't want to do is stay out after 2 a.m. Heck, I'll even say after maybe midnight.
Yeah, no, it gets a little rough out there, Bonte. You definitely don't want to be out there after midnight. But you get out there in the sun. I'm actually still mad that you guys didn't send me out there to cover this game. All right? They're in Miami for 5 days. So stay out of South Beach after midnight. Yes, that's true.
Go to the beach. Make sure you put on some sunscreen. Maybe go to Joe's Stone Crab as opposed to the establishments after 2 a.m.
Yeah, no Cleveland.
And as Fezzi said, they're going to be there for 5 days.
5 days, a long time,
man. Let's live on Sundays.
That's a full all-star break at the last part of the season.
No King of Diamonds?
Man, that's
Clevelander?
Tough. That's tough.
Moving on to New Orleans. Quintin Post and the rest of the roster, but more so Quintin Post. Go ahead and check out the French Quarter, Mully. It's a great site. Maybe you go visit the Superdome as well. Great stadium down in New Orleans. The Super Bowl was just held there where the Philadelphia Eagles beat up on the Kansas City Chiefs. But you don't want to be late for the first quarter at the Smoothie King Center. If you go down Bourbon Street, you may be get lost in the sauce.
If you go to the French Quarter, you may be late for the first quarter. Hey, by the way, Quintin Post is a rookie. He's a 24-year-old, mature, rookie from Boston College. He's a smart kid as well.
So we got some younger kids on the roster where you may have to talk to. Kaminga Ponds, Moses Moody.
Listen, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't have nothing to say about this. I would be enjoying everything that you said, and I would still show up to the game the next day with fresh legs.
Which is why we didn't send you out on the road, because we need you here inside the studio.
Multitasking Fezzi.
We need you here, Fezzi, not down in South Beach. We get no sideline hits from you. All right, it's been Dyson Daniels, great barrier thief. This guy is good. We'll discuss why he's so good on the defensive end on the floor.